Good evening and welcome to Pound Posse Presents. I'd like to start tonight with a happy birthday wish to someone who, if you follow Juno's Place at all, you've seen her plenty of times. You've probably seen pictures with me and her in them as well. Her grandfather is the founder of Sweet Pea Friends of Rutland Animals. Her mother, the shelter manager, both very good friends. So this young lady has animal care and just compassion running in her very veins. She is a colorful young lady. She is just amazing. She's compassionate, she's bright, she's funny, she's smart. She's just got a real way with animals. She's Juno's bodyguard. Let's get the picture up of Serena, Zach. Yep, as we wish her, and there she is with Juno and Mom. Let's wish Serena a very happy 19th birthday. She had her birthday this week. She's just really such an amazing young lady, and she's got so much ahead of her, so much on the ball now. It's going to be so much fun to watch her, do what she's going to do with her life. But for now, she's really involved with the shelter and with animals. And like I said, she's got it all running in her blood. So kudos to a young lady who's got a lot to look forward to in her life. 19 years old. I can remember 19. It was a very long time ago. But anyway, Serena, happy birthday to you. Take excellent care of Juno. I know you always do. Designated bodyguard for the diva, the tire iron wielding diva at that. Anyway, happy birthday, Serena. And now I will take the camera back, and this is the third week in a row I'm on a tear about transport and losing animals, etc., etc. But I can start tonight with a huge sigh of relief for Riley, who was captured this week. Sometimes things happen in the funniest ways. They were down there, they had sightings. He was running around still with the sweater and the muzzle hanging because it wasn't on his face anymore, or it wasn't restricting his face anymore. A very fearful animal who was not properly socialized in his short 7 months. He lived kind of a real horrible life. So the woman that he was bonded with, his foster mom, that was the only love he really responded to. So to have him running around, just such a scary, horrible thing. Almost as soon as someone posted in the group Finding Riley that I've been a part of, just watching, not posting, but keeping tabs on things because it was tearing my heart apart like it was so many others. Someone posted something to the effect of, seeing lots of yards with open gates, and maybe that would be a good way to try to contain him anyway, by leaving the gate open to your fenced-in yard, etc., and so on. And don't you know that's exactly what happened? A woman looked outside, saw it could only be Riley running around with a sweater and a muzzle hanging, snuck out there, shut the gate, called animal control, and they were there within 4 minutes. And I have to give the animal control in Charlotte a lot of credit because they were sleeves rolled up right there with it throughout from everything that I was watching being posted in that group page. They were really trying to be a part of it. They were assisting when they could. They were right there. So in 4 minutes time, which is amazing. And, as good as some of our animal control offices are here, that's pretty much the exception of the rule to ever have a 4-minute turnaround time. I'm assuming they tranked him because of his fear factor, took him in, and there's a sweet video of when his foster mom actually came in the room. You know, they had him in a crate in the middle of the room, and he hadn't been very happy, as the officers heard saying on that video, with anybody. You know, they would not handle him without the bite gloves and whatever. His fear made him bite. They did have him muzzled again, and his reaction when he realized that it was her that came in the room, you know, just such a different animal from what they'd been dealing with up to that point. And, you know, they zip-tied that crate before they loaded it in the car, and were taking no chances. As the animal control officer said, you know, a bite was going to change everything. So they were handling even putting the crate in there very gingerly and carefully. And his foster mom had to kind of grab one side of it just to make sure that he was not afraid, because unfortunately that was his situation. He very fearful and could and would react. So thank God. Let's get the picture of Riley. He is home. He's back with the family that he started out with. The woman's name is Wanda, and people are just sending him beds and toys and gifts, and everybody's so happy that he's actually home. You could see his tail's kind of blurry there. Obviously a happy boy and a very different animal than he was when he was on the run. You know, it was probably a really difficult thing for her to pack him up on transport. I believe they were sending him off for, you know, some rehab, but I think that he's home now, being that that's where his heart belongs, and her heart is so heavily invested in him. It's really such a nice thing that he's back again, and you know, not out on the road, and nothing happened to him. And you know, hopefully they're going to keep him where he is and be very careful with trying to take him anywhere. I will take the camera back, and unfortunately this is where I'm going to have a little bit of a rant, because just before I left my house, I saw a post about yet another dog that got loose on a transport. Now, needless to say, it's in a very busy, dangerous area. The dog got loose, he backed out of his collar, and right then and there's a problem with the fact that he was able to do that. But this is in Port Chester, New York, which is just over the Connecticut line into New York, in the area of I-95 and 287. The last time he was seen was in a West-East storage parking lot, the next parking lot over from where I guess he got loose. So now it's, you know, all hands on deck in Westchester County, and I just, there's a general problem if this is going to be what these dogs are at risk for. Obviously on a transport, you have to stop and walk them. You have to hand them off from one driver to another. The fact that the dog could slip out of the collar is a problem. A lot of transporters will only transport with a harness and a collar, 2 leashes. There's the fail-safe, or there's the attempt at the fail-safe. Personally, if I'm even taking my animals anywhere, I tighten that collar just ever so much, not so that it's choking them, but so that there's absolutely no way they can back out of it. How somebody transporting an animal wouldn't do that is just beyond me. You know, you're not transporting an animal in an unbusy area. You are on the highway. The exchange of 95 and 287 is just exponentially dangerous for any animal. Never mind one that's scared, doesn't know what's happening, doesn't know where it is. I hope more than anything else, that they can get this dog without too much trouble, and that he doesn't get killed, hit by a vehicle. I mean, this is a heavy truck area. You know, Port Chester, just like every place else, good parts and bad parts. I mean, that's, I don't think, even the question. It's just how people don't think ahead and plan for all of the things that might happen. Yeah, there's some things you can't prevent. You know, car accidents, things like that. That's debatable. An accident is an accident. But if you've got an animal and you're getting on the road with your own animal, with a transport animal, you've got to take more precautions. Even when I would take my once upon a time when I had Daisy, I took her everywhere. I took her to Vermont. I took her to Cape Cod. I took her to New York City all the time. I took her to any place and every place I could possibly take her. If it was going to be a very high traffic area, our destination, particularly when we would go to New York City, I would not use her collar. Her collar would be on with her tags, but I would have her on a harness and I would have a different kind of leash for her. There was no way I was going to expose her to the possibility of something happening. Not in New York City, not anywhere. She meant the world to me. Now, I understand you don't have the emotional bond with an animal that you're transporting, but how could you be any less careful? That dog's life is just as precious as your animals. There's something wrong. These rescue animals that are just saved or just adopted or just taken into a rescue and going to the vet and they get loose, somebody's not at the utmost of the height of vigilance for things that can happen. I obviously it bothers me, but there's got to be, I think, maybe a prerequisite of training or information or something if someone's going to sign on to transport. Now, granted, many of the transporters are volunteers. They're not paid for it, so it's not a profession. It may not be something that they're used to, but there are the seasoned veterans. Maybe somewhere, somehow, there can be some kind of bulletin that gets put together that can be printed out, a checklist, if you will, that each person has to sign off on before they can partake in a transport, just so that there's the awareness. I don't know. I have no idea what the solution is, but I'm thinking that maybe what I just said is something that we need to work on. Maybe I need to try to get something together with some people who transport and put together a checklist, and hopefully it'll get circulated and it'll be instituted. I don't know, but I'm praying now for Rocco, who is lost in Port Chester, that he is found without any damage being done to him. You know, it's a different environment than, say, North Carolina. It's cold up here. There's snow on the ground. Granted, tomorrow's going to be as nice as today, but, you know, it's definitely a concern, the weather for a dog like him. So, yeah, hopefully they'll find him. If anybody is in the Port Chester, New York area and can go help in any way possible. I did not have the chance to download the picture of Rocco to post him, but I did share the post on the Pound Posse Presents Facebook page. So by all means, if you're able to do anything to assist in whatever they decide they need to get him, to get the search on for him, please reach out and do what you can, because, you know, everybody brings something to the table, and, you know, you can help, even if it's just hanging posters and networking, talking to passersby. I've done door-to-door looking for lost animals. There's a lot that can be done. You just have to make sure that you stay on the same page with the people who are in charge of the search. Anyway, I have taken a lot of time with that, but I tell you, it's something that was really, really disturbing me. And please, let's let's put our heads together. If anybody has any ideas on what we could do to make these transports a little more fail-safe, reach out to me, pawprints713@aol.com, PAWPRINTS713@aol.com, or message me on Facebook through the Pound Posse Presents Facebook page. All right, where am I going? All right, February is just like October is Adopt a Shelter Dog Month and November is Adopt a Senior Dog Month. Zach, let's get the picture up. February is Black Pet Awareness Month. And, you know, black dogs, black cats seem to be the last ones to get adopted. They're overlooked for some reason. And I'll tell you, black pets and brindled pets, you know, dogs are more likely brindle, obviously, than cats, but they are the most overlooked in the shelter system, and I don't understand it personally. It's really a very sad thing. I don't know what the stigma is. I mean, I have one black dog, and it wasn't that I chose her, but I personally, you know, I would love to have a black cat someday. So I don't understand if it's that they're less visible, if, you know, people don't necessarily hold that, you know, cute and cuddly picture of them as they do maybe another color. I mean, I just don't get it. But, you know, if anybody can do something to help a black dog in a shelter or a black cat in a shelter, you know, they have just as much personality as the next dog, so I don't get it. Like I say, black and brindle, most overlooked in the shelter system. All right, I will take the camera back for a moment, and as far as adoptables for tonight, I've kind of lost a little bit of touch with my friends at the town of Hempstead Animal Shelter. So the adoptables are going to be Tojas dogs. I know they had their open house today, and hopefully that was a very successful event. Maybe they got some adoptions. That would have been a wonderful thing. They've got some dogs that have been there for a really long time, and you know, no animal deserves to be homeless. And you know, if they're there for a really long time, I can't imagine that life. You know, your dogs are, and your cats are in your house, on your furniture, in your home, just soaking up the love every day. And these poor dogs and cats are in a cage, and they're loved on by the volunteers, and they're walked, but it's not the same. As much as some of these volunteers dote on some of the animals that are in their care, it's definitely not the same as being in a home. So if you're in a position to adopt, if you're in a position to foster, because that gets them out of the shelter and far more ready to go into a home, by all means, please reach out. You know, if it's not the town of Hempstead Animal Shelter, pick a shelter near you that you feel comfortable with, and do the right thing by an animal. Anyway, we're going to start with Papa, if we can get that picture up. Papa is about 2.5 years old. He's house trained. He knows commands. He likes people. He likes other dogs. He's good on a leash. He's not always a fan of people near his food, so kids should be older than 17, they're saying. Papa has his own Facebook page, which is Papa Needs a Home. So you can go check that page out if you're interested in finding out more about Papa, or you can call the town of Hempstead Animal Shelter at 516-785-5220. And next up we have Thor. Now Thor is gorgeous. There you go. He's a black dog, of course, and he is about 7 years old. He has been at the shelter for over a year. He lived with a family for 4 years and was surrendered because a new member of the family had allergies. Fail. Anyway, Thor lived with cats. He's recommended for kids 17 and up. His Facebook page is Thor Needs a Superhero. And you know, at his age, Thor definitely deserves a lot more than he's been dealt. If you are interested in Thor, you can call 516-785-5220. Next up, we have Sammy, who has just got a beautiful face. He reminds me of Buster Brown, who was adopted, actually lives in Connecticut, and I can't wait to my chance to meet him. Hint, hint, Lisa, his new mom. Anyway, not a lot of information I got in my quick go through of where I was looking for information, but Sammy is 3 years old. He's playful. He loves walks. He loves to love and be loved. And I'll tell you, that face he's got that happy pity face, that pity smile. I think they're saying he's a hound mix, but whatever. If you are interested in Sammy, you can call the shelter at 516-785-5220. Next up, we have Princess. Princess is friendly with other dogs, but she does need slow introductions. She loves walks. She's good on the leash. She's a 3-year-old beauty who was picked up by the shelter and never reclaimed by her owner, which is really, I can't imagine how you could just abandon a dog like that. But then again, I can't imagine a lot of things. She's a stocky, beautiful girl, probably a very, very good dog to have around. She does have a Facebook page too. It's called A Fairy Tale Ending for Princess. And if you are interested in finding out more about her, you can definitely check that out. Or I'm going to be repeating this number in my sleep tonight, 516-785-5220. And then we have Lexi Mama. And look at that beautiful face. She just has the most soulful eyes. She's been there over a year as well, and she's looking for an active family with older kids, no cats. She is dog selective, so, you know, makes her just a tiny bit more difficult to place. But she's a total love bug, and she really enjoys getting out of her kennel and getting loved on. You know, they all do. Like I said, they get doted on, but it's not the same as being in a home. So anyway, on Facebook, you can go to Lexi Mama Longs for a Home, or you can call the shelter at 516-785-5220. Alrighty, I will take the camera back, and I'm going to go through some events. Just a reminder about the Wildlife Rehabilitator Training. That's this coming Saturday, February 25th. It's going to be at Sessions Woods in Burlington from 9 to 5. If you are interested, you need to email Lori.Fortin@ct.gov. That's Laure.Fortin, Fortin, @ct.gov. And I'm not sure how frequently they do this seminar, but they will be giving the exam at the end of the time. If anybody is interested, there are certain steps that you do need to take in order to be qualified. The seminar is just the beginning, but it's a good beginning. And I think that it's probably worthwhile knowledge whether you pursue it or not. There is a Facebook event, and I have shared that on the Pound Posse Presents Facebook page if you'd like to read a little bit more. Next, we have next Sunday, February 26th, 20 Paws Rescue is having an event. Of course, that's in Allentown, New Jersey, which is kind of far for a Sunday night. I was trying to figure out a way to go, but for me, it's just too late on a Sunday night. Unfortunately, if anyone's ever made that drive out to Jersey and tried to come back, it's not necessarily the most fun thing you've ever tried to do. Anyway, if you're interested in finding out more, 20pawsrescue@gmail.com, 20pawsrescue@gmail.com, and I will make a concerted effort. I think I shared that on the Pound Posse Presents Facebook page. If I haven't, I will. For the Love of Jack is having a casino bus trip. That's going to be on March 25th. That'll be leaving Torrington at 9:30 a.m. and leaving to come back from Mohegan Sun at 5:30 p.m. That's going to be a long but fun day. There'll be a Let's Make a Deal for door prizes, which sounds like a lot of fun because, you know, you never know what they're going to ask for and who's going to have what. But anyway, you need to reserve your seat by March 1st, and you can call Michelle at 860-689-3632. That's 860-689-3632, or Sherry at 860-605-3422, 860-605-3422. Cane's Crusade is having one of those really fun paint events. That's going to be on March 4th from 1 to 3. That's going to be in Agawam, Mass, for anybody up that way. And, you know, just like I love so many of these groups, that's why I'm sharing their events. I love Cane's Crusade. Reserve your spot through eventbrite.com. And I did share, if I hadn't shared that on the Pound Posse Presents website, Facebook page rather, I will. A lot of these events, you know, they're so much fun just to get out and to mingle. You know, if you have any curiosity about a group, you know, when they're hosting an event is like the best time to be able to meet them and get to know them and see how they work in action, you know, talk to the members. It's always fun. And when you know people and you go to the events, it's even more fun because it can just feel like old home week. Anyway, I'm thinking we're probably about out of time, Zach. Yeah. How many? See how good I am? 30 seconds, he's telling me. Anyway, if you can help Rocco in Port Chester, please check out Pound Posse Presents Facebook page and go down and see what you can do. Reach out, email. There's a contact phone number there. Do what you can to help. We got to get him home. I'm going to say it. Peace, love, and dogs. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. Good night.